At the 8th October 2023, we are live on the. It's pretty hot today. We will invite you, please take a look. Risk Report 2023 trace.blogspot.com. Risk Report 2023 traceoctober.blogspot.com. You check that we had a tremendous advance using the Wild Data Attach and the WDA, a project offered to the European Monetary System, considering the summit at the time, observing the philosophy of embedded system. And indeed, we could apply this in many things, and the destruction is really intense. So maybe people is having an uncomfortable moment right now, trying to boost the lies of things as usually made. In Blazing Act also as obstruction. We told that we will convict you all from obstruction because knows all crimes, and we did. You check something like this. Economic espionage, you shouldn't make an entry as unlogical or digital in a place that you are not invited. And if you are doing something for real there, you hurt a lot of interest. And the compensation is legit. So, it's one of the consequences be charged by the interest hurt. We will observe that the idea is counterfeit. The fake record scheme in Brazil is something that must concern everybody, because such misperception of all things include an entire interval as space. We use the Banach space to understand the fail inside the department or the office to put the offenders out. But Brazil seems that has always interest and the motivation and the will for criminal purpose, setting the interval as misperception that could be a disease in your pet, or something that will be followed by serious crimes like extortion, murders, or setting the robbery of a drugstore to kill you, and having the fake record as we told you a dozen times. It's the record about crimes made by the criminal offenders. The misuse of state power is a reality, not only in Brazil. It's the pandemic mobilization of crime as angle stone, because the public power is something you have in all areas. If it is ruled by corruption, you set the trust from public department using the budget, distributing money and advantages. We will have now the review as Wild Data Attach as a pattern, quite simple, quite clear. The expectations we have are indeed all legal, and we expect that the accomplishment of them all. The first thing we will have in mind is that I'm inside my environment. And if you did as public system globally or corporate globally aggression at this, in Brazil, you did something that has no excuse. From this point, we could end the conversation, because if he has no excuse, you must assume the responsibility of your acts. But you never do like this, and you push things forward, keeping the aggressions and doing things in a systematical way. We did a systematical defense, and it's proved by the value from 0 up to 39 surrounding you all. Now we divided this, considering that some elements at the corporation are okay, some elements at the public department are okay. but it's embedded inside this architecture that is something illegal, right? And if it's something illegal inside the architecture and the complaint was made by the victim and has no solution down here, you assume the solidarity at least, and you charge this. This tie that put you all together and combined, and you have no excuse, right? So, which will be the solution? We offer the solution also because we, as I told, at least I don't believe in justice. You know, you have, as a value may be, but judicial power, corrupted, global scale, hey, let's talk serious. We will observe that the regression allows to get from institutional solidarity the solidarity purpose as misuses of power to cover the power misused. There are no excuses in any area to hold criminal offenders inside the state or an institution as users of power. They must be fired, destituted, outposted, dismissed. Names listed to the International Criminal Court and the Antitrust Justice in USA and Europe. The group is part or maybe the leadership of a trust scam as pandemic mobilization of crime. Brazil is considering all things a game or funny, but the reality is not like this. Consequences are for real. It's starting to happen, and we requested to kick from Saquarema Tiny City in Rio de Janeiro, garbage of the globe, to put them all from local until global in the position that they must be, right? In front of a judge or a court, present the reasons that about facts and circumstances that has no exit, no reason or argument or something that authorizes or allow the existence of this. It's outrageous and infamous. We request the seizure as all values and refund all losses experienced by people, by research, by circles, by interests. Refund all costs, including the audit and all other things, to understand, considering the art society K or maybe the KGB, this pandemic mobilization of crime. Send out to prison because they are criminals. And indeed they are in Blazing Act at the power misuse, also at the budget. Fraudulent as themselves. Has no excuse one more time. We will request to satisfy the all rights since anti-crime and anti-mafia as purpose all the time. And the credit. Condemn the entire criminal system with punishment of all heads. Indeed are the users of the power. Ensure segregation of all, putting them far away from society and normal people. Tributes in oversea, allowing this and allowing to bomb at least one by choice between themselves, and allow the validation of this choice and authorize the boat to be bombed at least one up to 2028. It's a pandemic mobilization of crime, so it's pandemic criminals. They can be punished anywhere. The embedded system as well data attach will check that you have two moments, I would say. The first one is understand the environment that has a fail and a division with something inside that do not belong to the regular functionality of things, but has a functionality as itself. And they give me the idea as domain and image. The image of this thing here is outside with influence inside trying to engulf the regular area. If the internal control has nothing down here, and these hurt others, of course that we have the right to complain and strike back by law. We requested the institute, for instance. The second moment we will observe is that we did the financial research and the regression, considering something large, as the request we did, and we will come to this situation here, that is the elements charged, and it's very accurate. They are very uncomfortable now. The regression and compensation and satisfaction of rights and reforms will be at the institutional, public and state, and also at the corporations involved with, considering the G20. 197. It's the idea as something embedded. Here is the Brazil. The major offender in Brazil is always the Brazil. Except if they think the domain of circumstance, Article 84, is the presidential chair that must do the talk. Clauses 8, I think, and 7 or 6. But the silence is against the law and allow the impeachment of the presidential chair. Can be requested by the international interest and community, or to the management of the system according with the Brazilian Constitution, since the Brazil is unable to understand their own law and legal system. We will finish here. If it's necessary, move forward, but in my opinion the case is closer a dozen times. We just expect the satisfaction of the rights and the prison. That is a right of our offenders. And another thing, we request or offer 1 trillion as forgive or remedy to the confession, which is in benefit of the mafia. Since they are all caught in Blazing Act, they do not go in like this. We are offering them, broadcasted by one, for instance, specific television channel, Conservative USA, the names in conflict of interest that got inside the criminal organization and now decide to put the criminal organization down to escape themselves and save the miserable payment at the offices that has no merit at all. Outlaws. Have a great time.